Good afternoon, everyone. It's time for the daily reflection. Did a little sleeping in. Oh, nice, man. Needed it. Woke up, was up about a half hour, went to the noon meeting. It was kind of nice to just wake up, with a God shot. Gad shot, right? Don't you know it? Don't you know that's what they are? The Gad shots. Jasmine, lay down, please. My dog's been very, very needy today. Probably because I got up late or something. Probably check and make sure that, I'm doing all right. So, and Mom's home, so she's going to head to the stairs. But before I get started, and this is just something that I see going on. So growing up, I was always treated different than the other kids. Always. Right? I could go through the same thing as one of the other kids, and it is handled differently. And then that's always been, and it's always irritated the shucksters out of me. All right. I really wanted to put a swear word in there, but I made a promise. So I'm the type of person where if I see somebody else treating somebody else differently because they might be different to them, I'll usually say something. And I'm actually going to have to say something today because I don't like how somebody's being treated. Okay. The actual problem itself, so what? You don't treat people differently. It's extremely rude and offsetting. And it freaking hurts, guys. It hurts, right? How do you like it when you are treated differently? Right? Hey, you guys, everybody here is going to get a deluxe room, but you. Yeah, we got a place in the alley for you, right? That's how I always felt. Oh no, it's Dion. Put on the kids' gloves. Everybody start acting differently. Dion's here. I can feel that stuff when I walk into a room. I can feel a switch of a conversation. So don't do that to people. Don't be talking crap behind people's backs, hoping they're not going to walk into a room. Very uncool. So let's get to today's daily reflection. I'm going to read out of ODAT real quick. I'm actually going to read out of both books because I really like what this one had to say today. We hear it said that all progress in the program can be boiled down and measured by just two words: humility and responsibility. It's also said that our entire spiritual development can be precisely measured by the degree of our adherence to those principles. Okay? So our spiritual development is measured on our degree of humility and responsibility. As AA co-founder Bill W. once put it, ever deepening humility accompanied by an ever greater willingness to accept and act upon clear-cut obligations. These are truly our touchstones for all growth in the life of the Spirit. Am I responsible? Okay. Now, when I think of that, I think of the responsibility quote that we have, a responsibility prayer, whatever it is that you want to call it. When anyone anywhere reaches out for help, I want the hand of AA to be there. And for that, I am responsible. Right? Now, it doesn't say when somebody kind of, sort of, when anyone, anywhere, not just alcoholics, but we can help pretty much everybody we come into contact with what we do on a daily basis. We all go through stuff as human beings. We all go through these things. We react a little bit differently than most other people, right? But the outcome is going to be the same. The feeling is going to be the same. Just because somebody didn't drink drugs and alcohol doesn't mean they don't deserve serenity and peace and happiness, right? silly. I pray that of all the good words and catchphrases and wisps of inspiration that come to me, I will remember these two above all: humility and responsibility. These may be the hardest to come by. Humility, because it means shooting away my pride. Responsibility, because I'm in the habit of using my addiction as a thin excuse for getting out of obligations. I pray that I may break these old patterns. Today I'll remember first humility, then responsibility. I think that's a good thing for us to remember, especially right now. Holidays coming up, things like that, plus the coronavirus, and we're all being shoved in and being told to stay home. This can eat away, man. And some of it may feel small, but just because it may feel small doesn't mean that you don't work on it. All right. The little things kill. They can definitely add up. November 13th, looking outward. We ask especially for freedom from self-will and are careful to make no request for ourselves only. We may ask for ourselves, however, if others will be helped. That's the line there, guys. And I'm not even saying it's a thin red line, because it's not. I think it's pretty predominant, right? We are careful never to pray for our own selfish ends, right? The only thing that I pray for myself is to get out of myself. And I ask God to keep me clean and sober every day. That's what I do, right? So I have to follow through on that too. I gotta clean up my office. And then I'm going to read off page 87 here. Into action. As we go through the day, we pause when agitated or doubtful and ask for the right thought or action. Okay, we don't need to be on the 10th step to do that, guys. Okay, you should be practicing that right there when you hit the 3rd step. Okay, and we ask for the right thought or action. Just last week, okay, this happened to me last weekend. Right, I asked God. I was like, "What's the right action here? Is the right action going on live about what I'm thinking about right now, or should I clean?" Okay. Not 5 minutes later, the vacuum was delivered, our new vacuum. Okay. Don't tell me God doesn't answer. All right. It's funny because people are like, well, cleaning over that. There really is no difference, because God knew what I need to do. He's like, yeah, if you go live right now, you're probably going to cause more confusion and harmony. And he knows I don't want that. So, see, my will is lined with his. We constantly remind ourselves we are no longer running the show. Yes, that's going to become less and less. All right. Because it's going to start becoming a natural reaction. If it is something that you really want to change in yourself and something you believe in changing, and this is what you want, then it's going to happen. I promise you it will. I'm not saying it's going to go away completely, but instead of it happening 2-3 times a day, it might happen once a week. All right. Does that sound a lot better? Running the show, humbly saying to ourselves many times each day, thy will be done. Good afternoon, Carrie. It's good to see you, honey. We are then in much less danger of excitement. See, people, we avoid that one when we talk. Okay. I relapsed more times because I was happy. All right. Because I was overly happy. I was excited about something that honestly just didn't exist. We are then in much less danger of excitement, fear, anger, worry, self-pity, and foolish decisions. We become much more efficient. That means we're going to get more done. Okay? We do not tire so easily, for we are not burning up energy foolishly as we did when we were trying to arrange life to suit ourselves. It works. It really does. We alcoholics are undisciplined. True that, guys. We are undisciplined. So we let God discipline us in the simple ways that we have just outlined. No, discipline in this case does not mean you're going to be grounded at home or that, things like that. Piss me off, but don't make me happy, right? I know. Carrie, it's like it's like the stubbornness in us, huh? Well, they say that I can't stay sober during this time. You watch me. The alcoholics are undisciplined, but this is not all. There is actually more action. Faith without works is dead. The next chapter is entirely devoted to step 12. You know that my bookmark is my therapist's phone number. I think that's a good place to have it. All right, let's finish this. As an active alcoholic, I allowed selfishness to run rampant in my life. And I did. I allowed that. And that's where we have to take the responsibility. Right? Remember, we were just talking about that. I was so attached to my drinking and other selfish habits that people and moral principles came second, if that, right? Now, when I pray for the good of others rather than my own selfish ends, I practice a principle of letting go of selfish attachments, caring for my fellows, and preparing for the day when I will be required to let go of all earthly attachments. Right? So my praying, if I prayed, was always what we called foxhole prayers. God, get me out of jail. God, get me out of this situation. I won't do it again. Things like that. What I found is when I don't put myself in those situations, I don't need to ask to be put out of them. It's actually pretty simple. It wasn't easy to do, though, because all those old habits, I loved them. Even though I didn't quite understand, I did in a sense love them. So when we go through this, it's like a death. Remember, one of our friends is being killed off, our friend of alcohol and drugs. Okay. And you're going to mourn that a little bit. Okay? I'm going to let you know that. I know that's off topic, but you're going to mourn that. Okay. It's okay. It's okay. Because now you can celebrate life, right? So usually when we celebrate the death of a friend, we celebrate their life, right? Well, in this case, we're going to celebrate yours and your new life because you are reborn, and that makes you a miracle. All right. I'll be back tomorrow for the daily reflection. Maybe. Okay. I'm supposed to get my grandkids tonight. Maybe. So if they're here, I will be on my own watching them. So I don't know if I'll be able to get to the daily reflection till a little bit later. So I will get to it, but it might be pretty late. I do have a podcast coming out today. Dave G's, good friend of mine, was a fantastic talk. Great guy. I don't want to say anything else. So, all right, you guys have a great day. You'll see that podcast here about an hour and a half. I love y'all. Peace out and